Welcome back to Time to Draw. Today, in celebration of the recently released footage and hopefully maybe this time impending release of The Last Guardian, I plan to draw The Last Guardian. I'm guessing that the really cool giant dog griffith bird creature is The Last Guardian. I'm going to assume that it is for the sake of this video. So yes, I'm going to draw this thing today. Fun creature. So first, I like his eyes. I'm gonna draw his eyes first because he's got big puppy dog eyes. I like his eyes. Just gonna go with black and white pencils today. Not gonna try anything with color or even ink, just because it'll have more. I think it has more of a rustic look, and rustic looks are very big in Fumito Ueda games. His games, his previous games are very interesting yet run down fantasy worlds. They have a language that's all their own, so everything's subtitled when people do speak. I've heard that the language is a mix of Japanese and Latin, maybe a little bit of English, but it's reversed. So it sounds like something all its own. Which is really cool. It's a way to make it different and same at the same time. One thing that I really like about the design on the Guardian is that he looks like a big puppy dog. Hey, I'm a sucker. You know, if I could have a dog where I live, I would do that. So, and right now I'm just getting down the anatomy that he's got. He's got a couple stubs of horns that have some fur on them. Right here, and right here. He's also got some bigger ones back here. And we're going to make that even bigger still. I've got a couple of reference pictures I'm using this, but my idea today is to try to make it at least something of my own picture. So far, I'm not doing a lot of that, but yeah, things could change. Inspectors. Really big ears. I'm not saying he's the biggest thing ever or anything along those lines, but this guy is pretty darn cute. You know, for living in a rundown fantasy world, it's an awful cute bugger. Now, I've thoroughly enjoyed the two major games from Fumito Ueda. If you haven't figured it out by now, I more often than not play PlayStation. In fact, if you look for somebody for Dark Souls co-op, you can maybe ask me, and I could tell you my PSN name. It's a co-op. Or in any other game. I've got Battlefront and a couple others too. library of games, of course. I just recently got the PS4. We got it for Bloodborne. Big surprise. Maybe I'll do a Bloodborne drawing at some point. Or Gothic. But not today. Today, we have The Last Guardian. Figure cuteness. His ears are kind of like deer ears. Now I think about it, especially if you consider these antlers. The fascinating creature. I'm excited that we'll finally get to find out what's going on with this guy. Been waiting for this game for 2 game generations, pretty much. Yeah, he's dog-like, but this angle does make it look more like a deer. That's okay. It'll be even crazier in a minute if I start drawing feathers. Big surprise, he's got feathers. The thing he moves most like is a dog. With the birds and eggs. Okay, just about there. Apply his mouth a little more. So let's go do nothing a little bit. So, what is the big deal about this? About this guy I mentioned, Fumito Ueda. His previous games, I have not yet named them, of course, which I should, and you'll be familiar with at least one of them. The one you may or may not be familiar with is Ico. That's I-C-O. It would be pronounced Ico, since it's Japanese based. Which led to a couple of different projects. Actually, I guess this creature could be called Trico because he has been referred to in promotion materials as Trico. Tree as in try, T-R-I for try, and then Eco as in the third Eco game. They're kind of sort of connected in a weird sort of way, but I'm not going to discuss it today. that part. Big spoilers for a couple of games if I do. But the other game that he's more well known for, and was the first game I ever played from him of the two, is Shadow of the Colossus. It's the idea that you have no mini bosses. It's 16 boss battles, right? And the odd thing is, it's essentially a puzzle game. Both the games are essentially puzzle games, but they're presented in such a way that they don't seem like puzzle games. They seem like you're exploring a culture. So the puzzle isn't how do I solve this particular, challenge in this quest. It's what is going on in this world. You know, why is this island divided from the rest of everything by this temple? Why is it forbidden? Yeah, and that's Shadow of the Colossus. Why is it this forbidden island? Why is no one supposed to go here? Who are these? What are these creatures? Who is this doorman that lives inside of this temple? What's the freaky black stuff that chases me down every time I fight a boss? So it's things like that that make the games interesting. Because it is blatantly hiding the fact that it's a puzzle game. It's a puzzle game that acts like it's an action adventure game, which is great. I mean, Ico, you actually fight shadow monsters, so that creates the image even more. But it's really just a bunch of puzzle games. It's just a bunch of puzzles. Freaky island full of fantasy ruins, or this weird fantasy castle. I'll tell you, the location of Ico is even more fascinating than Shadow of the Colossus, I think, because it's a castle that people can readily access and use. And the main character, Ico, is abandoned in this castle, but he's abandoned within a coffin. Only by banging around does he actually get out. And the implication is there that he's not the first to be left there. So why is anyone leaving him there? Why is anyone at all being left there? I mean, yeah, the kid's got horns, but why do horns matter? So that's the fascinating bit. You have to figure all these things out, and that'll tell you the story. And yeah, people will show up and say some of what's going on, like the priest and Shadow of the Colossus, the queen, and Ico, which is interesting because the characters that give you the most information are the ones most associated with Doom. In Shadow of the Colossus, these priests are trying to keep you from being on that island to begin with. There's something terrible on that island, and they don't want you to wake it up. And we're not talking about Colossi here. In Ico, you're fleeing the queen. You're trying to get away from her. You're trying to escape the castle, and she has absolute rule over it. But if you want to find out what's going on, those are the people you have to talk to. So it's the hero's journey. You want to confront the evil, or do you run from it? Which evil is a very subjective term in both of those cases, especially in the case of the priest. And the more I think about it, the priest is not a bad guy. He's trying to make sure people don't die. The other element in Ueda's games are the the AI-based NPCs. They're artificial intelligence, non-player characters in both of them, and they both in both of those games they serve an important role, and that will also be the case in Last Guardian, because this that I'm drawing is that non-player character NPC. You don't play as the Last Guardian, you play as the boy who finds him, then pulls arrows from his side and becomes his friend. Sure, I'll gladly become friends with a giant dog, burn, bird, deer creature. Especially if they'll rampage bad guys. Which we know now that the Guardian will rampage bad guys. Yay, rampaging the bad guys. I know that seems kind of silly. I mean, one of the parts of fun is that it's shrouded in secrecy. I mean, we could tell. I mean, we could find out all this stuff. Okay, he can fight bad guys. What does that really tell us about what's going on? Nothing. The AIs are fantastic in these games. They are absolutely phenomenal. They are, I mean, they're both PS2 games. That's what makes it even better. They're PS2 games. So, in Eco. Yeah, there's a shout out to my video game buddy Iku. In Eco, you encounter a princess, sad princess who's been locked in a giant bird cage. Tell me that doesn't sound like a fairy tale right there. And she does not speak a language that Eco knows. When she speaks, it's subtitled. It's symbols. It's written in the symbols of her language, so there's no way we can tell what she's saying. It's a great immersive technique. You have to do everything you can to coordinate an escape with this other person, because you can't do it alone. It's impossible alone. And you don't speak the same language. She can understand your language, but she can't speak it. At least she's very good at understanding what Eco says. So, these two have to escape. It's a fun, adventurous journey, and I recommend anyone who has access to play it. Of course, the best way to access it these days is either through a digital download or, more likely, a PS3 HD remaster that comes with another game. And what's another game? Why, it's Shadow of the Colossus. Now, in Shadow of the Colossus, your AI character, see, I'm still talking about that, is the horse that you ride, Agro. A magnificent white horse that you will fight with like crazy. You will scream at the TV going, "Damn it, you filthy horse! Go where I tell you to go!" Because when you're on the horse, you have to, you don't get to steer it like you would steer a car in Grand Theft Auto. This isn't a one-for-one correlation. You say, I want to go left. Well, you have to encourage the horse to go left. The horse is going to go where the horse wants to go. You have to encourage him to go, just like a real horse. So, one of my mom's favorite video game stories deals with Shadow of the Colossus. Also known in Japan as Wanderer in the Colossus, because the main character is the Wanderer. Either name is great. So she got me the game for Christmas years ago, and I'm playing it on Christmas Day. And I'm riding around on Agro. We're seeing the world, enjoying the various challenges of finding colossi and slaying them to gain power to help the girl. And we never find the girl's name out. Sorry, part of the mystery, part of the fun. And I'm riding around. There's a section that's close to a chasm. There's several different ways across. One's a bridge. Well, it's an earth bridge, and the other was this kind of spirally earth bridge. And I'm riding, and I'm seeing how fast I can go. It's like, yeah, let's see how fast we can do. Mom's sitting on the other side of the room. And part of it is, early on, players do not get along with a horse. They just don't. So I'm like, you know what? I am going to steer that horse to his doom. Yeah. Can I do it? So, riding along a spiraling chasm, I thought, yeah, the horse is going on his own. He's going fast. I'm going to hop off, and the horse will leap off will run off the chasm, and I'll be on the bridge. And yeah, I'm going to be awesome. Yeah, that's not what happened. If that was what happened, I would not be telling this story. Instead, we get a nice bit of karma. I hit the jump button, and suddenly that horse comes to a full stop, and the Wanderer goes flying through the air. So I ride through this windy little path, and I hit that button, and actually I really meant for him to stop. I'm going to look around. So I don't remember my full on, but I was riding through really fast. I hit a button, and suddenly the Wanderer has gone flying off the horse to his doom. Mom's on the other side of the room. She sees that, and she starts howling with laughter. It wasn't funny at the time for me, because I was really trying to find where the next Colossus was, but it's pretty funny story. I admit, it's a pretty funny story. I'm not going to draw every feather. I don't want to draw every feather. I just want to give an impression of it. With the Guardian. So, my reference. Handy. The footage I've seen, he's a powerful, fascinating creature. The Guardian. He's the only real thing that can stop him is a symbol. He's been conditioned to obey or fear. It's like, wow, what could make this guy fear that? What could make such a fantastic creature fear anything? Here's my new one a little bit. Still an F pencil. Either way, I just wanted to give a few finer things in there. I know you're thinking, he looks so sad. Well, I didn't say the game was a happy game. I mean, he's been kept prisoner. The poor thing wants a friend. You know, he wants a buddy. And I'm sure that's what the little boy will represent for him. A friend. And, you know, it's a helpful relationship. The Guardian gets him to tough to reach places. The boy pulls arrows out of him. And they can, you know, play together, hopefully. Wouldn't that be nice? That's one of the fascinating things about Ico is the notion of pure friendship. Friendship that happens without any restraint, and by that I mean that language barrier that exists between Ico and Yorda, the princess. And once, if you can ever find out what she says, and there are cutscenes out there that say, "This is what Yorda is. Here's what Yorda is saying. I unlocked it." The ability to translate her language. What has to happen is she will advocate for Ico. She defends him to the queen. She's like, you know, he's just a boy. Let him go. Yorda could say, I just wanted to get away. But she doesn't. She says, he's just a boy. Let him go. He's not a threat. You know, you don't have to harm him or worry about him. You can just let him go. And the opposite holds true. Ico says, you know, to the queen, you know, that the queen shouldn't harm the princess. You know, should let her go. And because they can't understand one another, they don't realize that they have enough friendship, enough camaraderie, that they are willing to endure the castle, their prison, even longer. You know, possibly forever for each other. And that's, I mean, it's very selfless on both of their parts. I'm just gonna sketch in the idea of the feathers more than anything else here. It might end up looking scale-like, but that's alright. I just want his hand here more than anything else. Oh, darn it, he's cute. Anyway. If you get the full, complete ending from Ico, which is what it lets you see on the subtitles, if you can save after that. Fascinating game. the only way you can save is if you can rest on a couch with the princess. If the princess isn't with you, you can't save. If your character, Iko, is not with the princess, she cannot save. So it's an interesting way to integrate the save function into the game. I'll put a few arrows in. Yeah, basic look at some of these arrows that go into him. Like I said, I'm working from a couple of references, one more than another, but I wanted to attempt to make this a little more my own thing. I know his proportion isn't spot on, but I've never tried to draw him before. Give me a break. So, another element that I enjoy about Fumito Ueda's games is that they do possess a pure spirit of adventure. I mean, they're mysterious, puzzling. It's like, hey, what's going on? Which, yeah, I've discussed that a little bit already. But another part of that is the fact that you're going to all these different places, and they are connected, but you're not bound to them. You're not bound to them in any sort of way. So it's not like here's level 1, here's level 2, that sort of thing. The idea is for you to activate certain elements. Now, that's more true for Iko than for Shadow Colossus. But Shadow Colossus, if you could ride directly to the final boss, you do it. But you can't. And the nature of the challenge of the game is that you have to go after all 16. You can't skip one. You can't leave one off the list. You go for them all or you go for none. That's what Dorman says you have to do. Dorman. So, I guess we should say something about Dorman. May end up being the most important figure in all of Ueda's games. Feel free to debate me on that in the comments section. Try not to get all spoilery. Or what I can easily tell you, which you'll learn in the first 10 minutes of Shadow of the Colossus, is Dorman is a god that has been trapped on this island with his colossi. Dorman has two voices. One is male, one is female. They speak in unison. Dorman is depicted by a mask floating in a void. So, of course, someone's going to say, well, does that mean Dorman's evil? Probably. But it is a Faustian pact. You want to bring the girl back from the dead? You're going to need some supernatural help. The supernatural help involved? That's Dorman. He has a price. Go kill the Colossi. So, because of Dorman's late game activities, there is a connection to Pico. I won't say what it is here. But when that connection is revealed, the question is inherently presented, should you know both games. That question is, what has Dorman done? In his entire history, what has Dorman done to be of such significance to where he would be imprisoned upon an island to begin with? But also to where he would be in a position to where someone could come to him and ask for help, as the Wanderer does. So it's not just Faustian fact notion, it's also a moral question. It's not like the traditional cultural appropriation of opinion of evil. There's not a you don't go to, you don't have this place set aside for, like, here is the temple of evil. You can go there if you want. We'd rather you didn't. Now, you can't just go there. I mean, you have to have the sword. That sort of thing as well. But the general question remains. What is it that allows this guy to be accessible to anyone who can come to him? Now, if the Wanderer didn't have the sword, Dorman wouldn't give him the time of day. He'd be like, it's midnight, buzz off. I mean, it's always sunshine, so that's the joke, is that it's that's another element that, sidetracking myself a little bit. It's always sunny and bright and beautiful in the latest games. Now, you might have to go in a dark cave, and it'd be dark. And when I mean dark, I mean dark. But it's not as simple as here's a dark force, here's a dark lord, and go fight him. Dorman's not Sauron. In Lord of the Rings, Gimli says about Sauron, leave him there, let him rot. He says that early on. Beat the world, and he's told, no, we can't do that. Well, in Shadow of the Colossus, that's what they've done with Dorman. They've said, we're going to leave him there. We're going to leave him alone. So, why did they do that? I like this guy. He's cute. He's a little sad looking, I know, but he's cute. Let's go ahead and embellish a little more on the feathers. I'm not going to get all the way down to his feet. His feet are neat looking, but I'm not getting this with this picture. At some point I might draw another picture. going to go ahead and take this one. I'm going to draw in the lines on those feathers. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not really after perfect. I just want a sense of this fun creature. He looks fun. He looks cute. I'm going to get something to blend that a little more. Because I think he would look a little bit better with a bit of a blended bar. And I'm going to use the Q-tip to do this because I think carrying over a little bit more with fibrous sort of nature is probably going to be more effective than the alternative, which would be to use Artillery Phoenix cross hatching. I think this would blend a little more, and since we have different fibers in the Q-tip, that might help get the appearance of hair just slightly on a maybe even microscopic level, but enough that the mind can register it. Maybe not with a precise detail, but just enough. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, he's a good looking creature. He's got a little bit of a lot of cute things. I think that's going to make him adorable and lovable, and people are going to want one for Christmas. Of course, I doubt they're going to be able to get an actual one since we made it for the video game, but hey, maybe they'll get a video game for Christmas. That'd be a nice change of pace. Maybe the game actually comes out. Because they're really good games. Really good games. Nature, those eyes. Go ahead and just put it there. Left there. That's fine. And I like the way that even though he's followed the same general pattern with his games, fantasy setting, the bleak world, the fallen world, pretty much, is that there's still hope. There's plenty of light, and he uses light bloom to a magnificent effect. He makes a situation where your eyes will hurt if your character goes from a dark area to a light area. He puts light bloom in, so it actually affects you a little bit. Go over his nose, just a little darker. This is his muzzle is darker. And you're probably thinking, wait, you made that one a lot darker than that one. This one actually in the footage is broken. It's mellowed down. I mean, this one still has a kind of a growing point, but this one does not. Apply that fur. That still has fur on it, and then it's closer to the eyes. One last little bit over the brow. One of the things they say online in videos and articles is that is that 80% of your time is going to be filling in the details. I don't know how true that is, but that's kind of what I was doing there. I like what you're seeing. I like what I'm seeing. So I'm going to go ahead and do what I've done in most of these videos. Sign that I have finished with him. Okay, so that is Trico, the Guardian from The Last Guardian. A game I'm looking forward to. Hope you enjoy. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and feel free to hit the like button, subscribe for more videos. I'm trying to get them out. Basically, I'll do 2 on the 1 week. I'll do 2, the next week I'll do 1, and the next week I'll do 2, the next week I'll do 1. That's the pattern I'm going for, and so far that's holding up. Feel free to follow me on Twitter, and so on Facebook. Drop me a line, say hello, hit the like buttons there too, and find out more about what I'm drawing, more about what I'm writing, all sorts of stuff. I got a lot of fun and ideas and concepts coming up in the future. Now, I'll leave you here with this fun little picture I just drew, and we'll catch you next time. Have a wonderful step.